Hey guys, welcome and welcome back. So this DIY will be about this multicolor pant set, okay y'all? And I was inspired by an influencer on Instagram. Here's her picture on the side, and I thought it was so cute, so I had to make it my own with a little twist. So this is the colors we will be using, and guys, honestly, I just found them in my stash, and I was just fortunate enough to find those colors, those exact same colors, kind of exact but similar. And please look at the description box because I will post all the yarns that I use down below. Also, I am using a 5mm hook to do this project. So I'm starting off with the white yarn, and I already did my slip knot, and now I'm going to change 12. We're going to start with our bralette because it's the easiest and it's fast. So now that we chain up 12, with the first stitch where the hook is coming out from, we're going to do a half double crochet, and that's what we're going to do throughout the whole chain. And I slowed down the video for the people who don't know how to do a half double crochet. What you do is yarn over, you go through one chain, you pull through that, you will see 3 loops, and then you pull through all 3 loops. So we're going to be doing 2 patterns. We're going to be doing half double crochet, and we're going to do double crochet for this whole project. But mostly we're going to do a half double crochet for the bralette, and then there's only one pattern, which is a double crochet. And when you do the half double crochet, don't forget the last stitch, like that's very crucial. And now we are done, so I'm going to clip that yarn and we're going to change it. So before we change the color, I have to tie up the knot real good so it won't unravel, guys. So now our next color is orange, and we're going to use the Impeccable yarn, and we're going to do 1 row of double crochet. When changing the color, of course, you do your slip knot, and then what you do is with the needle you pull through the first stitch, and then you pull the yarn through that stitch into the slip knot, and then you yarn over and chain 1. And then you start doing the half double crochet on each chain. So I'm gonna let you guys watch the video. And once you hit the top stitch, we're going to do 3 double half crochets. So you do 1, and then on the same stitch you do the second, and then on the same stitch you do 3 half double crochet, and then after that we move on to doing 1 single half double crochets. And this is how it's looking so far. So yes, we're about to move on to our next color. So I'm doing my half double crochet on my last few chain, and then afterwards I'm gonna chain 1 and then cut that out. So the next color is baby pink, and as you guys see, I am connecting the 2 colors together by just doing 2 knots, and then we're going to continue doing our half double crochet until we get to the top stitch. So now that we at the top stitch, we are going to do 2 double crochet. This is where we're going to start changing our pattern when we hit the top of the bralette. And once you do the 2 double crochets, now we move it on to doing half double crochet. So afterwards you do that, you continue doing your half double crochet. And as you guys can see, like your bralette will start to look pointy at the top, and that's what we want it to start having a triangle shape. So after you do that, we're going to turn our work and do another row of the pink color. We're going to continue doing that half double crochet until we get to the top. Alright, so now that we at the top, we are going to do 2 double crochet on the same stitch. And then we're going to continue doing half double crochets as we continue. Okay, so now we're moving on to the mint green yarn, and we're going to do 1 row of that color. So yes, guys. And make sure you always turn your work when doing this bralette. And don't worry about the yarn sticking out or poking out. You could just easily trim that part, or you could just crochet it onto the bralette. Alright, now that we at the top, we're going to do 2 double crochet on the same stitch. And guys, as you notice, like, we're doing the same thing in each row, and that's what it is doing this bralette. Like, that is the pattern. Like, we're gonna continue doing the same thing throughout these different colors. Now we on to the blue yarn. So guys, from now on, I'm gonna move a little forward, because since you guys get the pattern, and I'm gonna just show you guys how the bralette will look in advance. So I already did the first row of the blue one. Now I'm doing the second row of the blue yarn. So we're gonna do 2 rows of the blue yarn. And the second row of the blue yarn, the pattern will be a little different. We're gonna do 4 double crochets, but we're gonna do it in 2 stitches. So one stitch we get 2 double crochet, and another stitch we get 2 double crochets at the top, since the bralette is getting bigger. After you do that, we're gonna continue doing our half double crochet until we go on to the next color. Alright, so now we're moving on to the yellow yarn. So we almost done with the bralette, guys. And I did 2 rows of the yellow yarn, doing the same pattern that we did with the second row of the blue yarn. So when we get to the top, 2 of the stitches each would get 2 double crochets. Alright, so now that we're done with the bralette, we are going to make a design using a pink yarn. So of course, I did my slip knot, and now we're going to do a slip stitch and start doing our decorative stitch. So I chain 1, and then the next stitch we're going to do a slip knot, and then chain 1, and then the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets. Afterwards, we're going to do a slip stitch and then chain 1, and then the next stitch 2 double crochets. So that is the pattern for the decorative stitch. We're going to do it all around, even the bottom of the bralette. And this is how it will look. Like, look how pretty it look. Like, it's like a wavy kind of pattern. So this is how the bralette will look. And now we're going to do the same at the bottom of the bralette, guys. So don't forget to do that pattern at the bottom of the bralette. And then we're going to do a slip stitch. But of course, I'm going to show you guys. So you're going to continue following the pattern. So my next pattern is a slip knot and then chain knot 1, and then next one is 2 double crochet. Then finally you're going to do a slip stitch on the first pattern of the decorative stitch. Chain 1, and then you cut that off, and then you're done. So I decided to add another pink onto the bottom of the bralette, and I just did the same pattern. And also with that same pink, I did my straps. So now we're moving on to the pants, and I measure my waist down to my ankles, and it gave me 34 inches. And we need that measurement so we could figure out how much chain we could do to measure up to 34 inches. So we starting with the orange yarn, and I already did my slip knot, and so we going to chain up to 34 inches, guys. I want y'all to know that I am 5'1", so if you 5'1", this is the exact chain you should do. If you're if you're taller than 5'1", then you obviously will have to do more chain. If you're shorter, then you could do less chain, but I am 5'1". So far I did 25 chain and I'm up to 14 inches, so we're getting kind of close, guys. Now I'm up to 50 chain and I am up to 28 inches and a half, so we're getting closer. So finally I chained up 120 chain, and that got me up to 34 inches. And again, guys, I am 5'1", so if you're 5'1", 120 will be great for you. So fun fact, guys, you will see that I am starting my double crochet with the very first stitch where you see the needle coming out from, like, and I noticed that that is a increase. So what's funny is that I didn't know it was an increase at that time. So like after a few colors later doing the same thing, like I noticed that my pants was getting longer. So guys, if you don't want your pants to grow at the bottom, then start with the next stitch, not the same stitch that you see the crochet hook coming out from, the next stitch. And I wish I would have knew before, you know, doing all of that, but I'm just letting you guys know not to do that because your pants will grow longer, unless that's what you want, and that's a different story. But that was my mistake throughout the project, was just increasing, not knowing that I was actually increasing. So don't forget the last stitch to do your double crochet, and then after that you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. And with the orange yarn, we're going to do 2 rows. And you see, guys, this is where I made my mistake doing the double crochet where the chain is coming out from. That is considered a increase, which I did not know. So I highly suggest you starting with the second chain. So skip that first chain and then do the second chain, and then continue doing your double crochet until you get to the end. So after you get to the end of the orange, you're going to chain 2, and then we're going to clip that out and then change our yarn to the white yarn, and then we're going to do the same thing, 2 rows of the white yarn. So of course we changing our color by doing 2 knots of the orange color and the white color. And we're literally going to do the same pattern throughout this pants project, guys. It's the same thing. So now that that is complete, we move it on to the baby pink yarn. And with the baby pink yarn, we are going to do 5 rows. So 5 double crochet rows we are going to do with the pink. So I'm going to be right back once I complete that. Afterwards, I did 2 more rows of the white and then the orange. So this is how it will look. Nothing different, the same thing I'm doing, the same pattern, 1 pattern, double crochet, guys. Now it's time to change our yarn color, and we are going back to the mint green. We're going to do 3 rows of double crochets. After I did 3 rows of the mint green, I'm moving on to the yellow yarn, and I'm also doing 3 rows. So right now I am on my 3rd row of the double crochet using the yellow yarn. Afterwards, I am doing 3 rows of the blue yarns. And guys, these are the same color that I use for the bralette. And also I am, like I said, doing the same pattern, just double crochet. Nothing has changed, guys. So this is how it's looking so far, guys, and now we are going to do the same pattern on the other side of the orange yarn. So we're going to do the same exact pattern, just like the top part of the section. We're going to do the bottom part of the section now. So bang, this is how it look, guys. So you know, it's pretty easy, pretty simple. And now we're going to finish it up using our baby pink yarn. And with that baby pink yarn, we're going to do 2 rows. Alright, guys, so after you do the 2 rows of the baby pink yarn, what I did was fold that in half, and then I measure my waist down to my crotch, and that was 10 inches. And then I measure from the beginning of the project we did to 10 inches, and then I did a stitch marker. And that stitch marker will help me determine where to start to close the project, so we could start making it look like pants. So guys, I ran out of that particular pink yarn, so I'm just using another pink yarn so we could start closing the project, so it could start looking like pants. I turned my work, and now it's time to close it. And basically what I did was just do a slip stitch and then chain 1. So but you have to like really look at it. You don't want to miss like a stitch. So what I did was just put 1 needle through 1 stitch, and then look behind the other side so it could match up together, and then put a needle through that stitch, and then pull through both stitch, and then you do a slip stitch. And that's how you basically do it. And that's how you close it to form a pants. Alright, so now that we're done, we are now going to work on the middle part of our pants, which is around the crotch. And I am using a different yarn now. I'm using the same yarn that I used for my bralette, the decorative stitch, the bottom decorative stitch. That pink, I'm using that pink. So what I did was just do single double crochet until I get to the middle part of the pants, and then I'm gonna do 2 double crochets, but I'm gonna show you guys. So now that we down the middle towards the bottom, the 2 stitches, I'm gonna do 2 double crochet just because I want it to fit a little loose at the bottom. So at the 2 bottom stitch, it will be 2 double crochet. So 1 get 2 double crochet, and another get 2 double crochet. So it would be 4 double crochet, and then we continue doing single double crochet. So now I am doing my last double crochet, and then now I'm gonna chain 2 and turn my work, and then we're gonna do single double crochet again until we hit to the middle. Alright, so now that we're down to the middle, there are 4 stitches around the crotch area. We're going to do 2 double crochet on each stitch. And like I said, guys, this is just so the crotch area could be at least a little loose. You do not want it tight at all. Even though yarns are stretchy, it's always good to have it loose around that area. Now this is the final results, and now we're going to attach the 2 legs together. And now we're going to do the same method of us creating the pants down the middle. We're going to do the same thing, connecting the 2 legs together. So we're going to do a slip stitch on each stitches. And before you do the stitches, the slip stitch, just line them up together like you guys saw in the video. Just want to make sure that it's perfect, because this is very crucial. You do not want your pants crooked, guys, because that's very, very embarrassing. So just make sure you align them together, make sure they pair up, and that's it. Your journey would be more smoother. Also, you see me taking my time connecting these pants because, like I said, it's very crucial. So I'm just making sure that each stitch match, and I'm just taking my time because I do want it to be perfect. So moving forward, guys, my camera did not record the rest of me creating the pants, but basically after I finished connecting the pants together, I did the waistband, and I did the same method of when we did the bralette, the decoration, the wavy yarn. I did the same method. So I did 3 double crochet instead of 2 double crochet. So one stitch, get 3 double crochet, and then the other stitch I did a slip stitch and then 1 chain, and then the next stitch 3 double crochet, and then the next stitch a slip stitch and then chain 1, and then another one, 3 double crochet. So that was my pattern when I did the waistband, and I did it twice. So my waistband does look a little taller. And afterwards I did strings for the waistband, and that's about it, guys. It wasn't that much I did after you see me connecting the 2 pants together. And here the final results. And I hope you guys like this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be back with another crochet DIY every week. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Ciao.